Welcome to Arcade Beat, the show where we listen to soundtracks from video games and analyze them to figure out what makes them work, not just as a piece of music, but as a part of something larger. Ever wonder why the music to Mario 64 sounds exotic yet familiar at the same time? Or why you can't get that riff from Mega Man 2 out of your head? Arcade Beat has you covered. Alright, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and listen to Mother, I'm Here, Zulf's theme.
Set my sail, fly, the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home. Lie on my back, clouds are making way for me. I'm coming home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here. Eyes open wide, feel your heart and it's glowing. I'm welcome home, sweet home. I take your hand, now you'll never be lonely. Not when I'm home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here.
Oh, man.
Lots of stuff.
That just hit, like, listening to that again just hits me in the feels so hard.
Right. You just, like, remember what happened. You're just like,
right?
Oh,
I'm
God.
just like, I'm not crying, you're crying. Shut up.
There's so many, like, layers to this, too. Like, this is... So, remember, the things that I like about this are, like, I really like comparing it to Zia's theme.
Mm-hmm.
Structurally, it's the same chords. It's in the same key, and it's the same chord progression.
Done on purpose.
Yeah, which makes it easy to morph together later,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll get into. But they also really work. So, like, they both have kind of a mixed or a Ceylondian background, and they kind of invert their song use in that way. And that Zia being raised Ceylondian, but Ura by heritage sang an Uran song for comfort. This song comes up in that pivotal scene with Zulf, and for the record, if you choose to save him, it comes up. There is a possibility of playing this game without hearing this song,
Mm-hmm.
which to me kind of marks the correct decision.
Yeah.
Right?
So, the thing about this is that it's a Ceylondian song. It's a call to home.
Mm-hmm.
But so, Zulf being an Ura, using a Ceylon, like, the question then becomes, like, the thing that makes it adaptable is what is his home? Is it Ceylondia? Is it the home with the Ura? Is it
the Bastion? Yeah.
We really should cover the scene that it plays during, I guess, before going too far into the song specifics itself. But, like, you get to pick whether or not, like, after he's left for dead by the Ura, for basically leading you to them incidentally.
Mm-hmm.
you have to choose whether you save him and bring him back with you or leave him because you already saved him once and like, fuck that guy, he's turned on you.
Yeah.
And the trick with this is it's not just a personal decision. This lays the groundwork going forward. You have two decisions to make, and both of them have impacts not just on the character story, but on the overarching story that it relates to, and that in this moment, you're choosing, in a way, whether to move forward with the people that you've grown with and the harmony you created between you, or to kind of revert to your backgrounds as Ceylondians and Urans and separate. And you kind of make that decision in a way twice, because you have to make that decision here in whether your friendship that you've grown together and your individual personalities, and realizing that you're not trying to fight each other personally, that it's like an overarching thing, is more important or not, or whether your people are more important in the background of the long history there. And then again at the end, when you have to make that decision to revert or to stick together, it's a matter of where do you find your hope? Do you find your hope in like undoing the calamity and allowing the world to kind of progress again, and the two, and hoping that there's hope for harmony between the Urans and the Ceylondians, or do you find your hope in the harmony that you found with your friends in the Bastion, and think that that's a better way to start over and repopulate and figure out the world from there, and whether that's that friendship and those people are more important than like the grander scope to you.
Yeah.
it's really big.
It's really big. It's a really heavy decision, and it's a really slow, heavy song. And I think just one like gameplay thing that I want to point out, just from like a design standpoint, that makes this decision even more impactful, is the fact that at the start of this level, this plays during the Tazal terminals, you are given this weapon that it's just like a big battering ram pillar, and it does it is OP. Like you can't switch weapons, but it doesn't matter because this is the package deal. It can summon meteorites. It does damage like AoE thing blast in front of you. It can block. It does everything. And there's some really tough fights that you have to use this to win. And the way the difficulty is structured is that you feel like, wow, if I didn't have this weapon, I would be totally screwed. And then you find Zulf getting beat up by the Aura, and it says, do you want to hold on to this weapon or drop the weapon and carry Zulf? And you're just like, oh man, are you telling me I need to finish this level without this weapon? This is gonna be impossible. Like, how am I gonna do it? And then if you decide to pick him up, you not only do you lose the pillar, you can't attack at all, and you move slower than normal. You can't dodge roll, you can't do anything. You've got Zulf on your shoulder, and you're walking through this level. And like Alden was saying earlier, it starts off with the Aura attacking you and doing damage to you, and then slowly,
like a gauntlet of them.
A lot of them. You're in their home base at this point. They're all just converging on you, attacking you, and slowly they stop attacking you. And then there's a part where there's a little bend and they're blocking your path, and then they do their little teleporting jump out of the way and form this path for you. And then after this part, after they've stopped attacking you, there's like one guy who starts attacking you again, and then he gets killed by the other Aura, and they let you pass.
I think that really ties into that whole thing too. Like, so it's that they're like, you figure out the Aura are not bad people. They're just the people that have been fighting against your people for forever.
Yeah.
It's like a Montagues and Capulets kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so like similarly, they view you as an enemy, and for being, you know, part of the people that set up the calamity, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of like the I Am Legend story, like, you know, to you know, the main character of I Am Legend, they were the monsters, but to them, he's the monster.
Yeah, he's the
you know, that kind of
boogeyman.
thing.
He's the one that has killed like dozens of them.
Yeah. Now, I mean, going back to this theme, I just want to talk about imparting gravitas. Now, I started this thought and I buttoned it
Mhm.
at the last thing, but when you think of any piece of audio-visual media, whether it be a play, whether it be a musical, whether it be like, you know, anything that like couples picture to sound, or even just has sound of, like, you think like Beauty and the Beast, you have the grand, like, you know, tale as old as time, and it's soft, but it's grandiose.
Mhm.
You have the Phantom of the Opera, that dun, 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 dun. You have Jesus Christ Superstar, ba, 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 ba. You have these like really big showstopper fanfares. This is the showstopper here, but it's completely opposite. Instead of like having this grandiose theme, instead of having this grandiose, like this big bombastic thing where it shows you this is the important thing, it lets the visuals take the forefront, and it does this subtle thing that just shows you the gravity of what you're doing. That guitar and vocal, that just shows you it, like, because it's taking that sidestep to what's going on, it highlights what's going on. And that's what hits you viscerally. That's what's really like tearing your heart out at this point. When you're playing through this game, like, you know, you hear this and it's like, oh, okay, like you can like kind of close your eyes and chill out to Zulf's theme. Like, okay, cool, I get it. But when you're playing it, just having that on top of what you're described, oh my god, super goosebumps. Like, it's incomparable how...
The moment of catharsis.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like just the gravity of that whole bit, that whole section of game. Like, to the point where you have us three here talking about this in relation, like the rest of the game in relation to this moment. You know, and the audio could not have been better. Just sometimes less is more.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes, like in this case, the visuals, what you're taking in visually, has to take the forefront. You have to take that back seat. And he really dialed it back perfectly here.
The thing that kills me about this song and this scene is that it's possible to not experience it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because if you don't select him, like, you literally just go through and tear up the Aura army and then go back to the Bastion, and it doesn't
Mhm.
play the song, and you just like fuck them up and move on.
Right. I mean, I almost think that that's more impactful. Like, yeah, you're right. It does kind of like highlight the correct choice, as it were. Like, maybe from a story perspective, but like I think that
I was just being a smart enough to that, but yeah.
no, but you're absolutely correct, because you know what? Again, going back to the whole gravity, if you don't experience that, that's fine. You know, it's just the way you played the game. You chose to leave him in, whatever. But like, if you chose to take him and you're going through that gauntlet, I don't know about you guys, but like my sphincter was clenched. I used every single one of my health pots.
Mhm.
I was sure I was gonna die.
But
then
that's the
when
thing that really kills you, is you don't have your health bar there.
Yeah, the health bar disappears. But you can
Yeah.
still use your health potions.
So
Yeah.
you're like, am I gonna die? Am I not gonna die? What's going on? Yeah, I'm using all of them. Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and you use up all that stuff, and then eventually they just stop attacking you, and you're just like, oh. And just having made that choice made it all the more impactful that you, like, I'm gonna die here because of what I chose. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like the last time it said saving game was like before you loaded the level. It's not short.
Yeah.
Like, they do absolutely everything to make sure that you're shitting bricks when this is happening.
Uh-huh.
Because then when you have that, like, you know, realization, because like for me, I didn't, it took until they killed the one other aura for me to realize that they had stopped attacking me. Because like I was just focusing on, like, I gotta get through this, and then they killed the other guy. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
and that's really, that was my like that was my like corner of the bed moment where I'm just like I'm leaning forward and I'm just like, holy shit, that just happened. Like they stopped attacking me, and I'm just like, I had this mind blow moment. I don't know. I got nothing else. Like that was just like, you know, if you've been listening to this entire podcast and you haven't played this game yet, shame on you.
Shame on you. We warned you several times.
Play the game. We warned you. Oh man, but if you had, remember when that
happened? Remember that?
Crazy.
I love that this song and Zia's theme are like the biggest deal in the soundtrack because they are so simplistic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not complex at all.
It's like, it's very serendipitous.
And it's just like, it works within the chaos. And I should save some more for the end theme.
Mm-hmm.
The end theme kind of...
Yeah. Yeah. So we do have a couple more songs to get through on the track before we get to the end theme. Yeah, let's get through. I almost want to skip them and jump right to it. But
this next song is a song. Okay,
this is a song. They did their thing. But so let's jump right into Pale Watchers. So this song plays in the Zoltan's Hollow level, which is directly after when the kid returns to the Bastion and fights all of the Ura, drives them back, and he discovers that Zia has apparently been kidnapped. Her guitar harp is laying on the ground, and the kid goes off to save her, to bring her back to the Bastion. And after you find Zia, you find out that she wasn't actually kidnapped. She went with the Ura because she wanted to see the other side of the conflict. She is an Ura who grew up in Caelondia. She had never really known her people or her homeland, and she wanted to experience that different point of view. But when she gets there, all she finds is just more of the same. It's the other side of the conflict. People who are just hating and fighting because they've been hating and fighting for so long. And, you know, she wants to go back to the Bastion with the kid when he shows up because she was afraid despite the fact that she was an aura.
Excuse me. Yeah. That pretty much covers the usage.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got all the elements.
It recalls that a couple of things actually. That harp arpeggio and the drum beat underneath are both recalls from a couple of previous tracks on.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that. Like for a brief moment, Darren was like, "All right, I was messing with you guys for like the entire soundtrack. Here's a little bit of basic circle progression." And we went from like the that's suspended into the major, and then he was like, "JK, I'm gonna put a B flat here in all of those," and it like, does the same chord progressions, but like with one hanging note that just makes all of them dissonant.
The thing that he does a lot, actually, at least, so he's done it for sure, definitively, because I have the score for them in the songs, the actual like songs that are sung, where he juxtaposes the F minor key with like F sharp accidentals thrown in there. There's that that D11 chord that has an F sharp in it, which is on like right up to the resolution of a lot of lines, and then there's like within Zulf's theme there's an F sharp thrown in melodically, which is really strange because it's a sharp tonic.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate the fact that Alden used the word dissonance because that really describes to a T what is happening to Zia as a character right now. More than ever, she just feels like she doesn't know what her identity is as a person. She doesn't feel connected to the aura. She doesn't feel connected to the Celandians. The only place that she ever really feels home is at the Bastion with Rux and the kid. In addition to that, you also have these sort of glassy tones that you're hearing that, like we were saying earlier, fit the space that you're in. Zoltan's Hollow it's a cave. It's a cavern, and you get those sort of reverberation, those glassy tones that fit the visual world that you're in as well.
Yes.
Yes, those are things. Drew is correct. this is another one of those songs to me that's just like so close and then just misses the mark. Like I love each individual part of this song. I hate them all together. You have this like with like the really cool like half second like the little like half beat delay. It's really cool, and then you get that cool like doom ga doom 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 ga like groove come in. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, this is good. I like these two things together, and then you have that. I'm like, okay, cool. That's cool, but it like doesn't really fit there. And what's going on? Then he's just like, and a different, like completely different time. And I'm like, all right, Darren, stop. And then he's just like, guitar now. Like, oh my god, he goes
really heavy mixing the different worlds musically.
Yeah,
like I get what he was going for, but yeah, sometimes execution's a little long.
Yeah, if you just like separated all these out into 3 separate things, each one of them would be awesome. I'd be like, these are awesome songs, great, thanks, Darren. But like, just all of them together is just this mishmash, and just like.
Also, it's a little weird that this is like, I mean, unless I'm forgetting that it happens to appear in also the next track, which I'm pretty sure it doesn't. This is the only track that has a punji in it, which is that like. Snake Charmer whistle for those, yeah.
I believe you are correct, sir.
So that's kind of a weird thing to just throw in there.
Yeah, I don't know, like
unless you consider that the weapon theme for the big pillar thing.
Yeah, like this is like if I was to meme pick this soundtrack or like this song specifically, it'd just be the Darren. What are you doing? Darren, stop! Like. Just keeps like he's like, all right, we're gonna put Punji in it. We're gonna put like Urdu in it. We're gonna put like,
I mean, it fits what he is though. Like, I don't know if you remember being like, in like production class and shit like that.
Yeah.
And like when you get in the studio and like, especially if you're used to like just like playing in a band your whole life and stuff like that. Now you get into like an actual studio and you get to like fuss around and make your own shit. Yeah, I remember putting all sorts of shit in places like for funnies. So it was like, I'm fucking doing it. Yeah, I'm definitely adding that. Like,
it was great, but like he just went like completely wall of sound with it, and it's just like every little space. Like when you're creating a song, like whether it be for just listening purposes, whether it be for game purposes, movie purposes, whatever. When you're creating something, the goodness in a song, like the dripping with. The juiciness of a song is not the sounds that you're getting, it's the space in between them.
Yeah. I think a lot, like the tracks that are like this, I'm going to preemptively not apologize to Beatles fanatics, but some of this is like, these tracks are his Magical Mystery Tour, and like Zia's theme is like his Abbey Road.
Yeah, he did it because he could. In this case, he's just, like literally, he was probably sitting there in the studio, like, well, I have this guitar track and it's cool, and I have this cool, like, that hip hop beat was sweet in the very beginning, like it was so sweet. And like, for those of you watching this as opposed to just listening, like I was just bobbing my head. I'm like, all right, cool. And then like once like the 4 on the floor came in, I was just like so jarred. I'm like, wait, it's not even the same time, like,
yeah.
It's so off-putting. I'm just like, please, I wish you had just left it alone. Like, I could listen to the first 10 seconds of this song on a loop and I'd be awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know that I really have much to add to that. This plays in the Tazal Terminals level up until you get to the point where you find Zulf. And it is sort of like, this is the last level of the game, pretty much. This is the climax. It does kind of have, it definitely has that feel to it. Like, there's just so much going on. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying in that it's a little too much.
You could create chaos and create a feeling of there's a lot going on and create a hecticness with the sounds that have been used and with that like soundscape in mind without going bonkers with adding stuff.
I think this is, and in terms of, a newer game versus older games, this is definitely where we're starting to see some of the drawbacks of having the technology that we have at our fingertips. Like, yeah, like you're saying, yeah, let's add this like flute sound and like all of these different instruments, and we're gonna put them all together. And it's like having that freedom gives you the opportunity to make these kinds of mistakes.
Yeah, it's like, this is, you could tell, I mean, a lot of people are like this, but you could tell that Darren never had to compose with a voice limit, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. He's just over there like, I want more Aboriginal percussion and an army of didgeridoos. like
even if you go, like, so if you look at a, like, just for the sake of, like, and keeping this within, like, songwriter type stuff, a band like Pink Floyd, who's kind of notorious for knowing when to hold and knowing when to pick the right notes and their correct use of empty space and letting things kind of speak for themselves very well, had to do some stuff that like they had limitations in regards to voices and stuff like that back then when recording on, like, you know, they had 8 tracks and 16 tracks and whatever.
Yeah, they had to do mix downs.
Yeah, remember those?
So one of the things that like they have to make some of these decisions, because they put a lot of wild shit in their albums.
Yeah.
And they had to make some of these decisions with, like, sacrifice in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Us and Them, off of Dark Side of the Moon, they did that delay that, like, us, was, like, mind-blowing for the time, because what they did is they had to take an entire 8-track machine, and that entire 8-track machine was just the voice, just the vocal track.
Yeah.
Because what they did is they recorded into track 1, patched that to track 2, patched track 2 into track 3. So the input for 1 was the output for the previous.
Right.
And that's how you got that naturally decaying delay.
Yeah.
Which is like the origins of fucking tape delay.
Yeah.
Right.
But in order to do that, they had to give up an entire 8-track machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know, compare it to, like, Queen. Like, you've seen, you know, I know Sully has seen it because we have the Pro Tools session, but, like, Somebody to Love by Queen, like, isolating the vocals, he was dumping vocal tracks, like, those harmonies and everything like that, he was just dumping, like, dubs of them inside, like, the guitar track, you know, like, putting them wherever they could fit, because they simply didn't have, like, enough space on a tape. Like, when you have a tape, there's, like, actual lines of magnetic, like, film that you have to have, like, little waveforms and stuff on. Like, you need to have that, like, actual physical tangible space there. And it's not like today where I can load up 128 piece orchestra and mic everybody individually.
Right.
You know.
Okay. Well, let's just keep this rolling, because this has gone on. This might be our first 4-parter.
Ooh, you think? We did 4.5 hours on Earthbound.
No, that was a little over 3.
Because we also had, like, pee breaks. We haven't taken a pee break yet.
This is just straight. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just a couple announcements real quick before we get back into it. First off, just wanted to thank you for watching episode... crap, I should have pulled this up before. Episode 13 of our Arcade Beat podcast, part 4 of our talk on Bastion, the 4th and final part. This one went kind of long, but there's a lot to talk about in this game. It's really complex. Apologies for this episode also going up late. My personal life has just been kind of super greasy lately, and unfortunately this took a bit of a backseat. But on that note, we are going to be taking a little bit of an actually scheduled break this time for about a month while we get together all the material and get ready to record the next episode. Well, the next series, rather, which should be up in mid-October, looking at October 19th, maybe the 12th. I don't want to promise it, though, but we'll make sure to have something extra spoopy out for y'all for Halloween. If you've been enjoying the show, you've been enjoying the podcast, a like, subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, sharing that with your friends. Super appreciated. Really helps us out a lot. I know just about everybody says that, but it really does. So, it would be super appreciated. I think that about covers it, so let's get back to it. Anyways, let's listen to From Wharf to Wilds.
Drew's giving us the 1 second. Okay. All right. While Drew's saying that, yo, this is some fat beats right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to dive too deep without Drew, but this is some fat beats right now.
It also bringing back stuff, man. Bringing back stuff.
Like this is what I wanted the previous song to be. Like,
anyways,
I had a friend who was from Poland. He was a roadie.
Mm-hmm.
I had to check one too.
Oh wow. Anyways, back to the soundtrack. It's a bit of a shame, but I'm pretty sure that this song doesn't ever play in the game in its entirety. It's a little hard to tell with everything going on in game, but it sounds like the first like 20 seconds or so, the build up of the song plays when you get back to the Bastion after making the decision whether or not to save Zulf, when you get to the heart of the Bastion and you have the big decision of the game to make, whether you do the reset or whether you sail off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Really, the only thing I have for this one is, like, I really wish this was the previous song. Yeah. Like, this was exactly enough, music for any one track. Darren, please continue to do these.
Right? Yeah, this is this was on point.
Good. Good job.
Good job. Alright. Now, let's listen to what this entire game, what this entire soundtrack has been leading up to. Setting Sail, Coming Home, end theme. Yeah, I love that song. I think that's probably my favorite song on the entire soundtrack.
Undoubtedly. So can I tell like just a quick story? This is gonna just get all of my points all in one quick story. So again, going back to the whole like, you know, super decision time and like sitting on the corner of the bed, like all that kind of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It all rounds down to one point, and this is the one thing that I think Darren Korb does really, really well, and that's tension. You've heard me hint about it the entire time we've been doing this, but he's really good at creating this, like, you know, when you create a song, you have this tension and release and tension and release, and yeah, he does like do the release at some point because he doesn't want you to have that, you know, that heart attack, but he doesn't release at the point that you expect, which creates more tension and just keeps you like, you know. Mm-hmm. So, like, by this point, my nerves were shot. I was almost in tears because I'm like, I don't know how to make this decision. Like, it was like a really, it fractured me. Like, it was really like affected me. Like, having to make this decision, not knowing which one was the correct decision, not knowing which one was the good ending, bad ending kind of thing. Like, just something as simple as that in a game mechanic. Like, you know, you're so used to like Mass Effect, like this is the good ending,
blue,
this is the bad
red.
Yeah, blue, red. Let's go. Like either I'm the Jedi and I save everybody forever and I give everybody food, or I'm the Sith and I kill specifically everyone's puppies. Like, you know, like it's never been like a choice. It's never been like a really tough decision. Just having one right after the other and all this tense music, I'm just like, whoa, like this is terrible. Like not terrible, but like, you know, it was nerve wracking. It was very tense. And then the thing that really resonated with this song, converse to Zulf's theme independently and converse to Zia's theme independently, you have the tonic chord. At the very end, the last chord that you hear in the entire game is the one.
It's the 5 again.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, but it in this case feels like it resolves. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
It does. Like, it does resolve. It's weird. I almost feel like he's writing it modally, and I think that's what's throwing me off.
Yeah, it's possible, but like, you know, at that point, that where he just like hits like, you know, that slow chord, I'm just like, oh, okay, we're done here.
It feels like, very final.
Yeah, and like, you know, from there, like, yeah, there's one more track in the album, but like, at that point, I'm just like, all right, like, I'm finally done. At that point, I sat back and I just soaked in everything that had just happened to me, because I played this all in like one sitting. So like the past like 4 hours for me, I think it took, you know, something like that. Like, I just had to go and like put my brain back together essentially, because I was just so nerve wracked at what had just happened that like I'd not anticipated such an emotional roller coaster, that I'm just like, wow, like that just like, it feels good to have that kind of experience. And it's like one thing, like I doubt I'd have the same experience had I played this again. But like it was just made better that I had that button. You know, Darren told me the game is done. And like, had I like been anticipating, had they set it up for a sequel or something like that, like, you know, the music affects that. If like it had ended on a dissonant thing, I'd be like, well, where's the release? You're not giving me, you know, there was supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there was, like, I'm just, you know, if you leave somebody anticipating that, that's not a good feeling. But just, like, leave them hanging and then give it to them. And then, like, that's just, like, that's the good stuff right there. In a piece of music, like, just having that just made the entire album for me, you know?
You know what that resolution is that I'm realizing now?
What's that?
So it lands on a C, but it's a C5, so all it is like CG, CG, C.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes it, it's like, it's very open, it's very nondescript, that feels very resolution-y.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, that was
it.
Literally it.
I was
just busting.
Where did we lose it? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, did you catch? I feel like the only thing I really added was the C5 thing, but did you catch that?
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like just the whole whole.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's very hard to put like a button on it, but like, you know, just that end chord feels good, and it gives you that, yeah, it like gives you that solid, like, okay, this is the end of the game. Like this is seeing the production company logos at the end of the credits. You know?
Oh, and one thing that I appreciate.
It's not a Marvel movie.
Yeah, one thing that I appreciate is the very last thing that you see in the game is that the gear that the kid wears on his back, like that crucial piece of the Bastion. And it's just like, it just brings everything back full circle. Like, the credits roll, and then it just brings up that image, and then it just fades out. And it's such a nice, like, you know, capstone to everything. And in case this wasn't obvious, just to give you a little bit of a window into, like, game setting wise, when you are making your decision, if you pick the sail off into the sunset ending, if you decide to start a new life with Zia and Zulf and Rux, and to just go off and explore this new world and see what you can see, this song starts playing, the credits roll, and there are a couple of images that roll in the credits that sort of detail the life that Zia and Zulf and the kid and Rux have together, like just a couple scenes immediately after. And yeah, it's also sort of assumed that this song, as it happens, is Zia and Zulf singing together, singing about their new life, and sort of a send-off of their old life, singing these folk tales that they grew up with.
Yeah. I think that this track really is like the reiteration of some of the things that I said earlier about the songs. For the sake of being mildly artsy-fartsy, I think that this song shows character harmony through literal vocal harmony.
Okay, yeah.
I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
Generally, I just think it's a really good... I mean, it's repurposing of the same lyrics and the same lines. It's got the same chord structure. It adds the, electro down-tempo beat.
Mm-hmm.
And it adds some, lead string work, like some guitar. And it sounds like kind of like a guitar and oud kind of combo deal. Mm-hmm. Which just kind of, because it was a fleshed out song for the ending.
Yeah.
It really helped build the song. But I think it's a fully fleshed out, production song based on the combining of two folk songs. And I think it really reiterates the bits about folk songs being relatable in different ways and being accessible in different ways to different people.
Mm-hmm.
This punches home the idea of, the songs mean different things now, even to the characters that are singing them clearly in this moment compared to what they meant when they first appeared. They have to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Home is a different place.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship to Ceylondia is totally different.
Yeah.
Effectively, there is no Ceylondia anymore.
Mm-hmm. And so, the concept of, building the wall. I noticed, too, that they, I gotta come to double check this, but, when they started bringing back that, build up the wall lines and stuff like that, they don't say anything about, digging the hole or any of that stuff.
Mm-mm.
It's just the building the wall part, which changes it completely, because it's not about defeating the wall. It's not about the futility of the wall. It's just about building the wall.
Building the wall and going home.
Mm-hmm.
At that point it becomes, let's build anew, as opposed to let's destroy.
Yeah, and
lines like one day your bird is going to fly and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why the name of the song is Setting Sail, Coming Home, not dig that hole or build that wall coming home. Because at the end of the game, the Bastion, literally, you detonate the cores, you rocket off into the sky, and you literally sail off into the sunset. Okay, so there's one last track. It's the bonus track. It was recorded as like a bonus for the soundtrack. It doesn't actually make any appearance in the game, so I don't know that we're gonna have much to talk about it in terms of like a game soundtrack thing. But just to cap it all off, let's go ahead and listen to the Pantheon, Ain't Gonna Catch You.
Gods ain't gonna help you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Then God's gonna hurt you, son, when you play with a loaded gun. When you play with a loaded gun, they ain't gonna catch you when you fall. You'll be bleeding while you're bleeding. They ain't gonna heal you, son. Don't care about what you've done. They ain't gonna help you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Be sorry for what you've done. Hope you, cranky old bull, make you sorry for what you've done. Handsome in a black veil, gonna prick you for what you've done. Rothers got you empty, got you weeping for what you've done. I say, mother, lonely old gal, tear your heart out for what you've done. Tear your heart out for what you've done. They ain't gonna catch you when you fall. You'll be bleeding while you're bleeding. Gods ain't gonna help you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Then God's gonna hurt you, son. You'll be sorry for what you've done. You'll be sorry for what you've done. Thank you.
Okay, I was wrong. This has a direct significance to the game, specifically a gameplay mechanic. There's a mechanic in this game where you unlock different pantheons of gods that you can pray to. If you pray to a pantheon of gods, that will increase the difficulty of the game in exchange for getting bonus experience. So yeah, gods ain't gonna help you. You'll be sorry for what you've done. God's gonna hurt you. That is directly a reference to increasing the difficulty of the game by praying to pantheons of gods. Also, in the song, he mentions a cranky old bull. That is a reference to Pith, who is the first pantheon that you unlock, which unlocks the entire mechanic.
There you go.
There you go. There you have it. But yeah, just...
It, like, loosely half recalls a line or two from Build That Wall.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, in the same, like, approximating kind of way that he did before when he...
Yeah. It's
like half a line that's close.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing that I like is that they hint at this through the lore of like the entire game. Like, I don't know about every one. I know every god has a name, and every god's name is listed in that pantheon, like the church, like the little chapel when you like highlight them or whatever. But like, I think Pith, he says, "Old Pith, cranky old bull." right? He also says mother, which is maybe a reference back to Zulf's, theme, mother going home or whatever. But I don't think we get any other references to any of the other gods, right?
There might be a couple slipped in there. I don't know all of the gods, so
I've kind of got that lore itch. Like, I want to know more. I want to do go into that more, please.
This is just a really fun little bonus track, but much like the very first 2 tracks, it sort of bookends the soundtrack in this story, and it directly ties the songs to the events of the game and the mechanics of the game. So, it's not just a song, it is a song directly related to Bastion, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, unless anyone has any more closing remarks, I think we sort of hit on everything that there is to... Yeah. Alright. Go for it.
Okay. Just overall, it's a good soundtrack. Again, I guess we'll talk about it when we do Transistor. But I feel like of the 2 games that Darren Korb has done, this is probably the one that is better tied into the game, than the other. He hits all the points, like style wise. Like, he's got the elements of the folk, he's got the elements of the exoticness, the fantasy, the weird surrealism that comes with the art style of the game. He's got the drive. I think, of this soundtrack, I think the shortcomings we can just attribute to a little bit of overzealousness in that. I don't think there was any one particular part that I'm just I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It's more just this is too much. This would be good if it were, we had a little bit less. It's not this melody is disgusting. I don't have any problems with any specific parts, just the frequency and severity with which the parts occur to me. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
As far as the button songs, the hot button songs, Zulf's theme, Zia's theme, Setting Sail, Coming Home, even the songs
Spiking a Rail.
Spiking a Rail, those tracks, the title track, those are all right, dude, I'm ready. This is on. This is good. The ancillary tracks, being a little bit chaotic for my tastes. That's just my taste, honestly. At that point, overall, I don't think it obviously didn't negatively affect the game too much, or else it wouldn't be so critically acclaimed.
Right.
But I don't think it negatively affected even the soundtrack. It kind of sucks, but
sure, and
overall, it was good.
Yeah, and every song on an album can't be the best song on the album. No,
right.
Realistic. Obviously, that some songs are going to be better than others. And again, like you were saying, it's sort of a personal preference kind of thing. But yeah, overall, I really think that he did a great job of making the soundtrack and the gameplay and the visuals all fit into one cohesive whole experience, which is ultimately what every video game strives to achieve.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth noting that this was his first game.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a songwriter and in a band and stuff, and then he got brought on for this. He hasn't really done film before. This is his first game. This is attempt number 1, and fucking kudos.
Yeah,
that's definitely that's definitely nice.
Yeah, talk about coming out swinging.
Mm-hmm.
The only other things I really want to add are I think the songs were the standout, obviously, and I think they played to the relationships in the story extremely well, and it was super well done. And it blended well with the game, and the timing of things was like pretty impeccable, honestly.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
the timing of when tracks started and how they built and how that like how this game as a whole, the music being a huge part of it, made you feel so in control of the game. So like you are the protagonist, not you are watching the protagonist and pressing buttons to make the protagonist do things on rails. You are the protagonist,
Yeah.
and you feel it, and you're not watching, you're participating. And the music was a huge part of that.
Yeah, I think one of the things that can really define just what a good job he did, especially for his first game, is like, can you picture this game being composed by like a Nobuo Uematsu or any other composer? Like I don't think this game would have been as effective had they not had Darren Korb in the audio designer seat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just having that, again, like, I'm sorry to keep on harping on this, but like, we're doing folk songs here because that's the style of the game, and you don't get that from like somebody who's used to string orchestras and who's used to like, weird, things like that, like, outlandish, like, let me do like a world, like 128 world piece. So then we've got like a, djembes over here and like, everything like that. You need somebody who's easily able to just pick up a guitar and go.
Mm-hmm.
That's the structure that they're going for. And I think, it actually probably wouldn't have been as effective had it not been, if not Darren himself, someone like Darren, doing that kind of style.
Yeah. I do have one last thing to add that I think is probably a good like roundup point, is that along those lines, I think that the composition aspect of this like music of the soundtrack is shockingly uncomplex in a way that works very well. And it's just the layering, the timing, the like soundscape, the tones used are what make this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree there.
Okay. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this latest edition of Arcade Beat. We are gonna be looking to try and get these out on a more regular schedule from here on out. Every other Thursday is going to be a new
look out
episode.
For a couple more of these Skype calls here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try and do them up on the live stream whenever we're doing them over the Skype, over the internet. As always, huge thank you to all of our GameWisp and Twitch subscribers. Alex, Andrew, Vince, BB, you guys rock. You are like you guys are the reason that we keep doing this. And not just the GameWisp subscribers, but YouTube subscribers, Twitch followers, everybody who's subscribed to us on iTunes. Like, honestly,
and our new Twitch subscribers, which we got. Man.
Yes, we've got Twitch subscribers now. Sully and Vince, you guys are on their Twitch subscription. Thank you guys, even if it is just your free Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime stuff. I appreciate you deciding to give that one to us, because you can only give it to one channel. Yeah, thank you guys so much. It really, really means a lot to us to have your support. If you did like if you like the podcast, if you like the series, please, subscribe, like, comment, share the video, give us a rating on iTunes, all that stuff. It really does help us out a lot.
Check us out on clandu.com. They all are up there as well.
Clanduplay.com.
Clanduplay.com.
Yes. It's all up on the blog on our website. Yeah. So, thanks for coming out. Thanks for hanging with us. And next time, we'll listen to something else.
See you later.
See ya.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to click that subscribe button to stay current on all things Duplay. If you really like us, why not support us on GameWiz? We've got lots of awesome rewards for our subscribers, including early access to our videos and exclusive content. Thanks! Catch you guys next time.